everybody. I'm Meghan O'Keefe. I'm the Executive Director of the Amador County Arts Council. Thank you so much for welcoming me into this space today. Thank you to Susan for the invitation. Before I kind of dive in, I just would like to know you all. Clearly, you mostly know each other a little bit, but I don't really know you, so I was hoping you could go around and say your name and tell me at least a little tidbit.
Hi, I'm Judi Cunho, and I'm the Operations Manager for the Calaveras Crisis Center. And I'm going to be here sharing a little bit of information about what we do.
Okay.
I equally am pleased to be here today.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Cool, Judi.
I'm Susan Thomason. I have a podcast called Senior Moments, and I also am involved in this group because I believe in I believe in promoting the best life for seniors that we can have.
Nice.
That's what my mission is.
Thanks, Susan.
I'm Amy Biaggi, and I am the client coordinator for Comfort Keepers. We're a non-medical in-home care agency. We cover Tuolumne County, Calaveras, and Amador, and we have several franchises that pretty much makes us full circle. So Citrus Heights, El Dorado, Folsom, all the way,
Wow.
all the way. So
Neat.
yeah. And then our sister company is True Blue. We have home services, so we have safety features to keep you in your home longer. Grab bars, rails, ramps, among other things.
Nice.
Background checked contractors, free home assessment. So they'll come in and do a checklist for you, and then you decide what you need done.
Nice to meet you.
Yes,
Thank you. Hi.
I'm Linda Mellon. I'm the Community Service Liaison for Calaveras County Senior Peer Program. So we recruit members of the community to go out and visit seniors who may be lonely, isolated, can't get out, just need somebody to talk to, maybe lost a spouse or whatever. And all we ask is an hour of their time to visit a senior once a week or call. And then we have a 2-hour supervision meeting once a month here in this room, actually, for our volunteers. And then we also are looking for clients who need our services. And the nice thing I like about our program is there's no insurance requirements, there's no income requirements. The only requirement is the person has to want the service. And we get referrals from doctors, friends, family, even people call themselves, I need somebody to talk to or whatever.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Evita Olson, and I'm the Healthy Aging Program Coordinator for Calaveras County Public Health. And I am working on building out this program to serve the seniors of Calaveras County. And so I'm still somewhat in the information gathering phase, where I'm seeing what's out there and what seniors actually need and want. And then I'm also starting to put together kits, like medication safety kits, exercise kits, and I'm always very interested to hear what other people know of, so we can work together to meet the needs.
Nice to meet you too. Nice to meet all of you. I need some water. Okay, so show of hands. Who has consumed any food in the last year? Anyone? Okay. Excellent. Ooh, this marker is sad. Yes, it's loved. So, you've been involved in culinary arts. Anybody put on any clothing recently? Thank you for wearing clothes today, by the way. Okay. So, textile arts. How about videos? Anybody ever watch videos? YouTube, social media, television? Okay. So we've got some media arts engagement. Anybody ever listen to the radio? Music, maybe? Okay. Everybody listens to music. When you're listening to music, have you ever done something like tap your toe or move your body, maybe sway it a little bit?
Dance around the house.
Here's a good one. Has anyone ever had to write a thank you note or an apology note?
Usually for dancing. Sorry, I danced.
Let's see if I went through all of them. Oh, here's a good one. Has anyone ever been interviewed for a job? Anybody? Ever? Okay. You are an artist. You are an artist. And my goal today is to talk with you about the services you provide to people and how not only is that an opportunity to increase arts engagement because of the wellness impacts, but also that you're already doing it. Because it's central to the way we live, right? You make a decision when you put on your clothes, right? You look at your art supplies and you decide what story you want to tell that day or what story you need for yourself that day. So now that you all know you're artists, I can just leave, right? Like I said, I'm really happy to be here today and to collaborate with you all in some creative thinking. And we're going to talk about how arts and culture can have positive impacts on not only your life as providers, but also the lives of the people you're providing services to. So we're going to do a little creativity today, and what that means is maybe you might feel like you're a little outside your normal box. Pick a couple markers that you don't hate. I don't have all the colors in the world, I'm sorry. But this is really for you. This is a different way of engaging with a presentation or a class. Pick a couple. What I invite you to do today with these pieces of scratch paper is doodle while we have this shared experience. So as words come up or as thoughts occur to you, you can capture them with a symbol that you like or something that represents it, or a quality of line. Maybe something is making you feel very sharp. So you could create lines that represent how you're feeling as we're moving through the conversation. You can also write down words of inspiration that might come to you, and really just work on filling the page with symbols and words as they occur over the course of our little time together. I want you to have fun, and I want you to know about some ways that help people stay engaged. So like I said, I'm Meghan O'Keefe. I run the Amador County Arts Council. We are on the other side of the river, the McCallum River. Anybody ever come over to Amador County? Okay, we're neighbors. So Susan and I thought it would be fun if I come over the river and through the woods and we talk about how art and culture can have a positive impact. So I want to tell you about the Art Council. We are the partner to the state agency called California Art Council, and Amador County Arts Council is the one designated to serve the space called Amador County. I grew up in Sutter Creek. I'm a lifelong artist, and I love our rural space together. And so I do think of us more as like one space. So as the local arts agency serving Amador County, Our mission is to encourage, support, and promote arts and culture in our schools and community. Part of that mission includes supporting creative seniors and all creatives throughout life. Many times that means engaging with professional retired artists, but most of the time that means engaging with people in general and talking about how we all need art in our life because it's part of the way the human brain processes this existence. And it's intrinsic to how life works for people. It is, art and culture are good for you physically in measurable ways. Has anyone ever heard anything about that? Anybody? Okay. I would be happy afterwards, Susan, if I will email you like some links to research.
Oh, that'd be great.
That way you can share it with everyone and you all can share it with your teams too. But there's kind of a lot of research worldwide about how arts and culture engagement positively and measurably impacts you physiologically. So what are we talking about? We're talking about, specific to seniors, we're talking about brain function. Engaging in art and culture supports the function of your brain. We know that when we're educating kids, we talk a lot about that. We have even more research about that. But sometimes it gets forgotten, especially in this country. In other countries, art and culture actually get prescribed by doctors. You need more music in your life. That's not an abnormal thing for a doctor to say to you outside of this country. Arts and culture engagement has measurable impacts on the function of your brain, clarity, swiftness of decision making, and memory. So all of those things are absolutely essential. Oh, that's not what I want to do yet. All of those things are absolutely essential when we're aging, right? It's also essential when we're growing up. Not only that, but we have boosts in self-esteem. Brain, memory, self-esteem. And again, these are measurable. Engaging in arts and culture gives you an increase in dopamine and serotonin and these good chemicals that your body needs to have a healthy life and to be sustainable and have longevity. Not only that, but you have a reduction in stress. Stress reduction, again, measurable. So you see a decrease in cortisol and adrenaline, and these things that are causing inflammation in you physically and decreasing the likelihood of your longevity. So when you engage in arts and culture, you get that stress reduction. What do you guys think? How do you feel when you engage with art?
Well, I can tell you that I got given a whole bunch of apples and peaches earlier this year. So I went on a baking spree because I don't eat much fruit. And I hadn't done that in years. But I made apple cake, I made apple crunch, I made peach cobbler, peach crunch.
I love it.
A lot of stuff. And I had forgotten how good it felt just to spend a day baking and cutting and chopping. So definitely it was stress reduction, and I don't know if I increased my self-esteem, but it sure made me feel good. And I'd just completely forgotten about that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
These very simple ways to live an artful life. Anyone else? How do you feel when you engage with art or creative thinking?
I'm glad that you just said creative thinking, because because I am a math nerd, and I'm proud to say that.
Yes.
I mean, I even have like math socks on today.
Yes.
I used to tutor mathematics for people taking their GED right here in this building. And to me, that science is artistic for me, because I believe that the expression of something that you're really jazzed about, something exciting, something that says, here's who I am and I love it. That to me is art. So I always talk about, yes, there's a science, and there's that you add this and you subtract that and you multiply it times pi or whatever, right? But how you share that and how you utilize those talents to me is just an ultimate expression of beauty and art.
That was so beautiful.
That was
Oh my gosh, that was gorgeous. That was so poetic.
I have to say that every once in a while because people see my socks and they go, oh my. You know?
Oh, a numbers person.
Seriously, it makes me feel good. And that bottom one right there, the stress reduction, because I do work in a field that is chaotic and oftentimes stressful, and in order for us to check in with the beauty that surrounds us, we have to turn on the radio, or
Yeah.
watch a baseball game. Those guys are artistic. So this is a full gamut of beauty.
I love that you pivoted the conversation to math and science and other elements. I want to come back to that in a little bit too, because I want to give everyone else a chance to share about how you all feel when you engage with creative activities.
I feel happy. I have a friend and my mom and I used to do a lot of crafts growing up, and I really haven't done and I've always done crafty things, but I haven't done anything for a while. And my friend and she wanted to do them, and so we started in Easter, and we made Easter wreaths. She got a really good deal on wreaths from Michael's at Christmas time or whatever, so we made Easter wreaths. Then 4th of July, we made 4th of July wreaths, and we just started doing the Halloween wreaths. And we're also, besides the wreath, she also bought plastic pumpkins, and she saw this thing on, I don't know, Pinterest or something, and we cut out the top of the pumpkin, and we're doing like a decoration, floral, Halloween stuff coming out. We're gonna put a skeleton in it, sitting in the floral arrangement and everything, and it's just fun. And we both come up with something totally different, but we also encourage each other, too. And I'll say, what do you think? And she might say, give a suggestion, or she'll ask me, what do I think? It's just,
So you brought up a really important one that we haven't talked about yet. Oh, I might have spelled it wrong. I don't know if there's 2 R's in social interaction. We know what we're saying.
So yeah, it's fun, and we're doing it together. And she said most of her friends don't want to do crafts like that, and we're going to do like a fall wreath that we're going to create into also a Thanksgiving wreath, like maybe get a turkey that we can stick in for Thanksgiving, but take it out and use it for fall, and then Christmas, and I'm sure we'll do Valentine's Day. So yeah,
That sounds like fun.
Right.
So each holiday now we'll have a wreath that we can put up and look at and enjoy.
And you're both individually exercising your creative expression, but also collaborating together and interacting.
Yes.
And that's an important need for seniors, right? It's an important need for all of us, actually, at all age, right?
Deal, so we don't buy, we're not spending hundreds of dollars on these. We go to the dollar store and we get, the stuff we want for it, and just be creative with it.
I love it.
Dollar store is
I
a
love
great
it.
resource.
Yes.
You get a lot of fun little stuff to put into an art project.
I also love getting art supplies outside. When you live in a rural space, you can get a lot of stuff outside, and sometimes it's free, most of the time. Who wants to share about how they feel when they engage with art?
Yeah, I feel a lot more centered just because my brain and my world is so noisy, because I am a planner and a thinker, and I'm very logistical all the time. Taking the time to stop, and for me it's gardening or organizing, because maybe I want to redecorate my bedroom, or I want to tear out a tree and put that tree somewhere else. I can slow down and just be present, and then create something that I'm proud of at the end of the day. So then I want to tell everybody about it. Like, I I grab my husband over and I'm like, oh, look what I did today. Isn't it so cute? And then he gets to brag on me to his friends and his family about it. And so
Aw.
it's like a full circle to where I feel appreciated and creative and centered and like present. I guess that's the main part.
Nice.
Everything else can just stop.
Ooh, that's a nice feeling. Anyone know that feeling? Yeah, that's a nice feeling, right? Just in that flow. Go ahead, Amy.
Mine's a combination of theirs, I think. I love all of yours. It's really neat to hear. And I love crafts, so I've always kind of done the wreaths and holiday things and baking and giving them as gifts and the cooking and stuff. Recently, a couple things. Recently, I love pumpkin. I love fall time, so it's really fun. And I did a fun couple of pumpkins for kind of in the pet theme. So the
Aw.
paws were eyes and,
Oh, cute.
and so anyway, then I did a fall photo shoot with the two, my dog and my daughter's dog, with the fall background and the pumpkins that we did the paw prints on and stuff. So that was fun. The other one is
Oops. Oh boy. Now I lost my water on the carpet. I'm so sorry. I should add photography because I bet all of you have smartphones probably, and you might take some pictures.
when I'm invited to like a birthday party I went to recently for my friend's dad who turned 80.
Uh-huh.
I just took photos of the whole party and then put it in a digital photo book for his gift.
How
And I really love that.
nice.
And it's just a nice gift. And my daughter made his birthday card and then we were there and to socialize and I took photos of everything. I thought that was fun. I enjoy that because it's a gift too. And
Right.
But during COVID, I want to say this, kind of like what Avita was saying about sharing things with her husband. I can brag about my husband because he is an overthinker and constantly thinking. So when 2020 came out, we were, on lockdown, and that was really a hard time. What were we doing? And anyway, so he became a wood carver, and he carves wood, and he never knew he could do it. And these are like wood pieces, and they're so detailed with the hair.
How wonderful.
It's just amazing. So I can brag about him being so creative and just amazing with so many pieces he's made. And anyway.
That is so
friends
cool.
and stuff. So yeah.
That is really neat.
And you survive, and then it becomes the social
Right.
or the stress reduction, which
Right.
was so needed.
Right. So there's, we could talk all day about the scientific principles behind what's happening. Those are the nice, like, sound bites that it really boils down to. And also the way that you have all expressed the way you feel with art. That's kind of the amazing thing about creative thinking and creative engagement. It doesn't matter who you are, it works for all of us. It is blind to age and historical experiences, abilities, class. It has a positive impact on all of us. That's why so many people in the surveys about arts and culture report that they feel like arts and culture bring people together across differences, because it's as though those differences don't matter. Like Avita, is that your name? Like you were saying about how when you're present, when you're creating, you're present, and all those other things go away. It's as though they don't exist, they don't matter. And that happens when we engage in arts and culture together as a group. In a very real way, one way to explain it, do you guys know what entrainment is? Okay. I'll write that one down too. So, entrainment is always happening inside one part of your body, at least, and it's in your heart muscle. Your heart cells, they all beat together, That's entrainment. So when you listen to music, your cells resonate on the rhythm of the music. If you are listening to music with a group of people, all of your cells are moving in the same rhythm as the music, as in you are literally, you're at a cellular level, you're together. And that does supersede any differences because it's happening at a cellular level where there is no discussion of differences, right? So entrainment is really good. That's one of the reasons why music is so powerful. The entrainment can lower your blood pressure. And like I said, I will send links to the bits of research that I have access to, and hopefully that'll give you more resources, and maybe you'll find things I didn't know about, and you can send them back to me, and we can keep this conversation going. Let's see, where?
Probably why karaoke works so well. People
Well,
enjoy going to karaoke.
okay, so, I think it's really important to discuss fine artists, like professional arts. We've already determined that all of us here are artists, right? Are you all highly rich and famous, highly sought after fine artists? None of us are, right? Right. No, me neither. I make bad art. I practice every day. It has saved my life more than once. It doesn't matter if it's good. That's the other thing that's so great about art. Not only does it have positive impacts on everyone, regardless of age and class and race and all of that jazz, but it doesn't matter if it's good. So if you make terrible, terrible art, you're still going to have those good impacts on your system and on your community. How could you live without it? And actually, it was the first thing we had. It is the center of us. Because all this stuff we have, this beautiful building, which I think is a really nice building, you guys. And I wish we had one like this, a library like this in Amador. The technology, the media arts, these pieces of paper, this language that we're speaking. The fact that we survived any number of years to come to this moment is all thanks to creative thinking. We wouldn't have math and numbers if we didn't have creative thinking. So yes, I'm an everyday artist. I practice all the time. I also have a degree in biology. So when you bring up math and science, I totally get it. I'm totally right there with you. And what makes me a great member on a team in a laboratory is the fact that I'm going to be the first to step up for creative thinking when there's a problem. And that's what problem solving is, right? So we're serving seniors, and we have an opportunity to get their brains and their bodies engaged in art and culture. Not only because it just feels good, but because it's going to have a measurable impact on their life. And it applies to everyone. You don't need to know anything about anyone to do it, right? So it can be one of the easiest resources you can incorporate in your engagement with the people you're serving. Because you do it naturally. We already covered that you're engaging in art every day naturally just by being a person. So how can you bring that in? Go ahead.
The potential for using art to help people who are no longer able to verbally communicate, it's got an amazing potential. If you could get someone to just maybe take pieces of colored paper and match them to something over here that has color on it, and even if they don't really understand what they're doing, it's still making a positive impact on their emotional well-being, and to me, that's massively important.
Yep. Yep. And there are ways that you can do this. Some senior providers hire teaching artists to engage with specific folks. For example, theater improv is really, really good, safe space for people with dementia. Engaging in theater improv in a safe space, provide someone with dementia a safe space to be with their thoughts and memories and whatever they're experiencing in a manner that is positive for them and not harmful to the family members, right? So that can really help reduce stress for people experiencing dementia by allowing them to have that experience through theater improv. And it's something that is relatively easy to do if you just make the safe space for it. So you all don't have to go out and hire theater professionals. You can also just read up a little bit about it.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I've done the melodramas in Valley Springs, and I've done it for 25 years or so. But when I was volunteering my time doing this, I had a lady that had dementia, and I invited her and her family to come to see the melodrama. And I got them front row seats and everything, and she didn't remember a lot of things or whatever, but the next week when I came to visit her, she remembered the melodrama.
Oh, that's
She remembered going.
Right.
And the other thing I worked with her with too was that every time I'd leave, because I always went once a week, and I'd always tell her, okay, I'll see you next, whatever day I went, I don't remember, Wednesday or Thursday. And I'd say, because Wednesday's what? And she's like, kind of looked at me funny at first, and I go, because it's your day. And each week when I go, I would tell her, and I'd say, because Wednesday's what? And pretty soon she would go point to herself, and she goes, because it's my day? And I said, yes.
Oh, nice.
That's beautiful.
And she was very witty. I had to talk more about myself, which I don't like to do, but because she couldn't remember a lot of things. But she was very witty, and she would say things just out of the blue that were totally hilarious. And one day I had a really bad day at work, and I didn't feel like going, but I was like, no, it's only for an hour, Linda, you can do it, And she said something so witty that I literally was almost rolling on the floor laughing. It was so funny. And I came out of the room, and she lived with her daughter, and her daughter said, that's just music to my ears to hear my mom laugh.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah,
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That totally took the thought out of my brain. I can't even remember what I was going to say next. I love that you are using art already. And what I was going to say is repetition. Repetition is a tool in art. So that exercise you did with that person is beautiful, but you see repetition in music, you see it in poetry, you see it in theater, and it has a way of reaching us differently, right? So like I said at the beginning, one of my goals is to hopefully help you realize that not only can you use art to serve people, but you're already doing it a little bit, and you can just do more of it. One super easy way, especially now that most of us have devices, is with music. And like I said about reducing blood pressure, you can easily have light classical, very low volume, light classical or instrumental music in I'm guessing many of your meetings. And enjoy how that how that impacts the energy. You want to be intentional about the music. If you pick some wild and crazy upbeat jazz, it's gonna impact your meeting. If you pick some calming classical, harp music is going to impact your meeting differently than if you pick heavy metal. So be intentional about what type of meeting you want. But feel free to bring that in. Oftentimes, when I'm working with my staff, I will have, and even in visual art classes that I've taught to little kids, I will have just a very low volume of calming music in the background, and it just helps with focus. And it does cause entrainment. It gets us together on that same beat, right? So that's something you can also easily incorporate into your life. It is 9:43. How much longer do you want to go? Should I wrap it up?
Up to you guys. How much time are you gonna need?
they could get through the services, you know, in 15 minutes or so, and then entertain any questions.
And we stop at 10-ish?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the service availability is there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's important. Amador County Arts Council, we provide services to kids, mostly kids, but also seniors. And so I did just want to tell you guys a little bit about us, and you're welcome to reach out to us anytime. You can keep those and share them or not. If you leave them, I'll take them and give them to someone else. We've been around since 1982. We've been the designated partner to the California Arts Council since then. Oh, sorry. Talking at the same time is such a challenge. Leave anything you don't want and I'll take it. So we're a 501c3. We make grants to artists and arts organizations who are serving Amador County. We also make scholarships to young people graduating high school locally. And then we have free art supplies for kids. We also teach art classes in the public schools, K through 12. It depends on different grants we have. Right now we have about 4 different arts education grants we're running. Much of our focus, we do provide visual arts education to all of the K through 6 kids at all 6 public elementaries in the county. And we've been doing that since 2010. Kids are our main focus, but also the whole family is our main focus. And many kids, as we know in rural spaces, are raised by seniors. So it's really important that we maintain this avenue of communication so we can support each other. One of the things I offer to artists and arts organizations is help applying for grants. It's a little bit challenging because I'm supposed to serve Amador County, but if there's a way we could ever work together to do something that serves our region, I'd totally be happy to be at the table, happy to collaborate with you guys. If you ever just want to use me as a sounding board too, to think about art grants or ways to get art money into this community to serve your folks, let me know. I'm happy to think about it because there are a lot of grants. Most of the art grants exist to provide services to people who need services. Art grants are usually just not for art's sake. So I'd be happy to walk you through the grants that the state of California offers. I'm familiar with a lot of them. I'm very familiar with the application process, and I'd be happy to help support you guys getting those grants. So you can reach out to me anytime, and that's essentially all I have more fun stuff I could give you. Do you want a pin or a sticker?
My name is Judi, and I am the operations manager with the Resource Connection, and I work at the Calaveras Crisis Center, which is just right up the hill here. And what I want to do is to share a little bit about our organization, the Resource Connection, and then a little bit more about the Calaveras Crisis Center program, and then specifically how those paths cross with your mission here today. Okay? I am going to go ahead and just hand out a couple of our brochures first off. Everybody's story, challenges, abilities, arts, wonders, and lives are so unique that there's really no one solution that fixes everything. And so I think one of the most important things that I could do here today is to help people understand the door that's open and some of the services that are available, but also what a peaceful and trustworthy and confidential setting, not to mention all services are free. We like that word. The Resource Connection is a 501c3, and it has programs in both Amador and in Calaveras County. And it oversees, it's the parent agency of the Women, Infant, and Children's Program, the Head Start and Early Head Start program here in Calaveras. It also maintains the Calaveras Food Bank. And in both Amador and Calaveras, what is known as resources and referral, and their emphasis is to assist families with subsidy help so that they can find daycare services and assist them, to get a little bit of help with paying for that nowadays. And we're the 5th program, and we're the Calaveras Crisis Center. And the Calaveras Crisis Center also maintains the Children's Advocacy Center down in Valley Springs. The emphasis of what we do here out of this building right up the street is to provide services for survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. So we are a service center, and that's the emphasis of those that we serve. The Children's Advocacy Center down in Valley Springs I got really excited when we started talking about the children's art projects and things like that. They do a yearly art project where children who are receiving services down there can do art, and then there's a contest and everybody gets a blue ribbon, and some of the things that are created by those children is just incredibly wonderful and poignant. And so, and they love to do it. They just absolutely love to do it. So I really was super interested in some of the materials you have. I'm going to share them with the center there, see if we can't all collaborate to make life a little bit more peaceful and share with each other. I honestly believe that if there was more of these things that we learned about today or that we were reminded of today, I wouldn't be as busy at my job. Especially when it comes to providing services to our senior population. I just believe that a lot of times things occur because of isolation, because of the inability to interact in a safe manner with community members. And then they find themselves kind of stuck in a spot and don't know where to go for help. So that's what I want to share with you today. Again, like I said, the Crisis Center's emphasis is on providing free services for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. And we are funded by the California Governor's Office, Emergency Services Office, and federal monies from the Victim of Crime Act and the Family Violence Services Protection Act come down through the state, and then we receive them through grants. So we do have a specific set of performance components that we are required to provide. And then the art of handing out those services is how we do it in a manner that fits our community. Not just get so zoned in on what's on that piece of paper, but also to see what our community needs. So this is why it's very exciting for me to be here today, not just to share with you my passion for what I do, but so that I'm going to take a little piece of what everybody does back with me, and I'm going to put that up there, and I mean, we have to deserve that name, the Resource Connection, don't we? So I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you so much. I don't want people to get stuck on the word violence. The definition of domestic violence and sexual assault that lies within the California Penal Code defines what creates a crime, right? But if we think of having to live in an abusive situation where you don't feel safe, where you don't have anyone trusted to go to, perhaps where someone has wormed into your world and is stealing your money and then threatening you to tell anybody making your life miserable. That has become an abusive situation that no one should have to live in. The majority of what we do are persons who have encountered that toxic life with a spouse or a cohabitant, an intimate partner, I will use that term, or someone with whom they used to be married or used to be a partner and have children together. Right? So that is the vast majority of the clientele that we serve. But there is a very large portion of who we serve that are, I'll say, over 60. That's the sort of the cutoff demographic that we use that I can easily pull out of my machine. And that represents about 15% of the clients that we serve. I will also say that the traditional concern that people come to us with is usually an intimate partner scenario. But with our seniors that come and ask for help, it is not too often that the person that is hurting them or causing their life to be unpleasant or dangerous, that relationship is not an intimate partner. 90% of the time, it is a person living under their roof that is either a close blood relative or it is a person that has somehow made the senior believe that they are there as a caretaker. All right? They don't have the credentials as being a caretaker. But oh yeah, if you'll let me stay in your spare bedroom, I'll make sure you always have food. I'll make sure that that hole in your deck gets fixed. I'll make sure that the roof is fixed, and then the next thing you know, the person's having a whole horde of ne'er-do-wells coming through there. Grandma's money's gone, all of the stuff is gone, and she's being pushed around and saying, if you tell anybody, I'm going to let you have it. There's also a lot of blood relationships where that is your beloved child that's doing that to you, or that is your beloved grandchild that is doing that to you. And you just can't flip a lever off and tell someone, just kick the bum out, right? That's my kin. That's my blood. That's what we do. We take care of each other. So there are numerous obstacles for a person to ask for help, because ultimately, if you think about it, I can't fix somebody else. I can't say, you're mean, you get fixed. Can't do it unless that person wants it. So ultimately, the way to stabilize that dangerous situation may be that the elder has to ask for some sort of injunctive relief from a court to force that other person to move out. A lot of our seniors want to come to us and want us to give services to that other person to fix them so they will stop hurting them. And we can't do that. I wish we could. I really do wish we could. So if a crime is committed, and by crime I mean one that has caused an arrest or caused the district attorney's office to press charges against somebody, we provide a full gamut of services for the survivor of that crime. Everything from understanding the criminal justice process, we go to court with them. We have a self-help legal team. We're not attorneys, but we do have massive experience in assisting the community members of asking a judge for protection through the restraining order process, and how that intersects with this meeting here today. There are a few types of restraining orders. A domestic violence restraining order, and let's not get stuck on that word violence. No one needs to be hit. No one needs to be beaten. Let's think of that as abuse, right? And domestic violence restraining orders are designed to help persons who are intimate partners have children together, or if they are a close blood relative by the second degree. I'll throw out the fancy word of consanguinity with blood, the second degree. And that goes to parent, child, siblings, grandparent, grandchild, and then also for spouses. Spouses and intimate partners, you're available to use a domestic violence restraining order. There is also what is known as an elder abuse and dependent adult abuse order. And the criteria for that is that you are 65 or older in the state of California. Or as a dependent adult, a person would need help explaining to a judge why the petitioner for that assistance is incapable of taking care of themselves. So that might allow the person to use the elder abuse format through the Welfare and Institutions Code. Okay. I know that the law has recently changed, that Adult Protective Services can now provide services to persons who are 60 or older. But for the purposes of asking for injunctive relief from the courts and also for the purposes of mandated reporting, our statutes are still 65 years old. Okay. And we are mandated reporters, so if we hear that a child is in imminent danger or has been abused, we are required to report that to the proper authorities. And as such, we are required to report to Adult Protective Services if we hear that a senior of that age is in imminent danger in their home. Okay. Other than that, it is against the law for us to talk about anybody's stuff. We are bound by incredibly strict rules of confidentiality, and above and beyond that, we believe in it deeply, and we want our place to be safe, somewhere someone knows that they can come. It's tough to pull this stuff out. It's tough to come and tell a stranger that your adult son is pushing you around, is hurting you, right? So we want to make sure that anybody that may be interested in our services understands that they're safe, their story is safe. No one is going to make you do anything you do not want to do. There's going to be no pressure. I know a lot of times our clients will come in and they want to know their options and they think they're going to go down one avenue, and they fill out some paperwork and go, okay, I'm going to fill this out. If you could start typing it up for us. And then they reflect on things overnight, and they may not want to do what they said they did the day before. And they call us up, and they're just so apologetic for wasting our time. No one's time is ever wasted when the time that you are giving is a piece of your soul to help somebody else not be alone, not have to endure terror in their own home. And I think I could probably talk about all our services. I could show you my socks again, and I could throw out statistics, and I can do things of that nature. But when I leave here today, I want everyone to know that it doesn't matter what your question is, call us. Ask to talk to an advocate. It doesn't even matter if you don't know what your question is yet, call us. It may not be something that we can provide a service for, but because of meetings like this, we're always looking at trying to help someone find the proper place to go. All right? So getting back to perhaps where I see a service that we will perform for seniors, if someone is having a situation within the home where there is a dangerous situation, certainly you can come to us. Our grantors do not provide us monies to assist in restraining orders that aren't related to domestic violence or sexual assault. But I think I can speak for my coworkers that there isn't really another service in the community for that. Even if you go down to the Self-Help Legal Center, which assists with restraining orders that aren't related to sexual violence or domestic violence, they're really not going to sit down with our seniors and help them, right? So we're kind of the only game in town. And if I know that if our advocates have time, they will help a senior even if it isn't domestic violence or sexual assault. But they need to be able to make sure that they can provide the service necessary on their, and still get some of their other requirements done. We've recently, well, not recently, it's been going on for a while, working so well with Cody, with Health and Human Services, and quite a few of her clients are seniors, and there are some seniors who have children who have some mental health issues that are causing some situations to happen that are criminal and frightening, and I know that we've assisted on numerous levels along those lines. So I'm kind of all over the place. If anybody has any questions about the services that are available, I'd be more than happy to talk about them in particular.
I am curious about the difference between the elder abuse restraining order and the sexual or
The domestic violence.
restraining order.
All of these restraining orders, there are certain things that one can do and one can't, but the major difference is eligibility to use. So in order to use the domestic violence restraining order process, which lives in the family law code, you have to have a child together. You have to be living together as more than just roommates, all right? You have to be related by that second line of consanguinity I talked about, which grandparent and grandchild is the furthest out. Nieces and uncles and aunts, that falls outside of that eligibility status. Otherwise, you have to then start going and finding out which order you are eligible for. There's one thing about a domestic violence restraining order and an elder abuse restraining order that other restraining orders do not offer, and that is a judge has the ability to make a person move out of the home they live in, okay? Other restraining orders cannot force a person to move out. So that's, and our judge takes that's a heck of a burden. Right? It's a heck of a burden to instantaneously basically evict someone from the home that they're living in, and considering how few places there are for people to go. Our judge does take that very, very seriously, and he needs to make sure that the law is being followed and that there are significant reasons for that, reasons of imminent danger. So if you go to a judge and you say, you know what, my son hasn't paid his rent for 3 months, I'm sick of him, I want a restraining order, I want him out of here. The judge is most likely, it's been our experience, and I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to give you legal advice, right? There's my caveat. But it has been our experience that that's not enough to get a restraining order. So usually the threshold is a imminent danger. And elder abuse orders come out of the Welfare and Institutions Code, and the reasons for getting an elder abuse order are slightly different in their definition, because the courts do recognize that seniors are particularly vulnerable to other sorts of abuses, such as financial abuse. So the judge has latitude to provide services along those lines. Whereas something like a domestic violence restraining order is quite centered on intimate partners, spouses, persons who have children together. So there are other things that you can ask for in an order such as that to stabilize custody and to create some support issues and things of that nature. So you're welcome. Just remember, services are free. And if someone wants to call to find out if what they're looking for is something that we can help with, we encourage it.
And what's that phone number?
That phone number on your brochure, there is our business office number is 754-1300. Information right on the back. We also maintain, well, actually it's on the inside nowadays. We also maintain a 24/7, 365 hotline. And those numbers are 736-4011 and 754-4011. If a person does call that hotline, you're going to get an answering service first, even during business hours, and they will transfer you to the proper number because our team of advocates after business hours are covering that phone usually from home or from a cell phone in their pocket at the grocery store or wherever it is. It's 24/7. But if someone during business hours wants to get hold of us, direct line 1300. Okay. And just take a look at things inside. And if anybody, you know, and I know that people in this room are all about creating those interactions. I'm going to come back to that word. I loved it when you wrote that down on there. That social interaction where we can all come together and maybe share some things that we've been through that haven't been pleasant. But from that can come the knowledge base that will help somebody know that they're not alone and that they can reach out for help. So.
Okay, so October is Domestic Violence
Awareness Month. That is
I
correct.
know you had some activities. Are there any still from this point on? We're almost through October.
Well,
Are there any activities left?
right now, the major activity that we do have left is that we have an RV that is going about town. My goodness, you know, we were talking here about not knowing what day it was. I do believe a couple days ago, they went, whatever day it was that the Community Covenant Church has their evening dinner, they were there handing out some information. We were in Copperopolis we were in West Point with the food bank, and I think we were in Copperopolis with the WIC program. And so that schedule of where the RV will be, we're going to continue doing that. But we've mostly just been trying to go to places where we can get the word out, get awareness out. I will say this much, sometimes when we go and we put up our table and they see what we do, right? People will be coming down and they'll be getting their pens and their papers and they'll get their buttons and everything, and then they'll see domestic violence and sexual assault on the banner, and out the big art, right? So what we like to do is we like to give out free stuff. So if they, you know, come on by, you know, we won't bite, I swear, you know, kind of a thing. So that's sort of what we're trying to do is go to places where we can get some information out. I know that we like to also try to keep our information in establishments where it's discreet and someone can pick it up if they need that information. Sure. And thank you very much for recognizing the October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I was actually planning on saying that first, so and then I got so excited talking about the intersectionality of arts and our services. I just got so carried away and excited. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.